We are entering a segment which we enjoy each year, the Ask Me Anything for WebStorm. And the cool thing about this is they're not asking us. They're asking people who actually have qualified answers to give, the heroes from the WebStorm team. Before we get started, Jan is our JavaScript developer advocate, so he'll be pitching in on this. Go ahead and get all your questions started. And I guess let's go ahead and bring everybody on, right?
Yeah, sounds good.
All right, look at the League of Superheroes we have here. This is pretty cool. We'll go around and do intros. As I just mentioned, Jan is a developer advocate. And, you know, that's kind of an important role.
I hope so.
But you know what matters more than an advocate is someone who like steers the whole messaging ship. And we've had Ekaterina on before. Can you give us a little bit of an intro for you?
Hi, sure. Hi, everyone. As Paul said, I've been here before already. I'm still doing marketing for WebStorm. I've been working at JetBrains for nearly 5.5 years now. So yeah, I'm really excited to be here today.
And I started with you because you and I go way back on all of this stuff. Over to team lead, Vlad, give us some intro.
Sure. Hi, everyone. My name is Vlad. I joined the WebStorm team about a year ago and recently stepped into the team lead role. But my web development experience, however, began around 24 years ago when server-side rendering was the only approach. Still, I'm super excited about what's happening in the web ecosystem today. And as a WebStorm user for over a decade, my goal is to bring some fresh ideas and advocate for our users' needs. I'm looking forward to our chat.
And speaking of fresh ideas, server-side rendering is still the only way that things should be done, but I digress on that. Bringing up two people who do 127,000 Git commits in WebStorm each day. I'll start with Tomasz. Give us a little introduction.
Hi, my name is Tomasz Błachut. I'm a software developer here at JetBrains. Nowadays I mostly work on integrating language services with the rest of our features of our products, and like lots of my time is spent on analyzing how the framework ecosystem changes, which I really love doing. By the way, like shout out to Svelte team for releasing version 5 recently.
Very good.
Yeah. And yeah, that's it. Excited to be here.
Sure. Okay, and last but not least, Peter, if you ever have a chance to run into him in the booth at a conference and you get a chance to talk to him, you're in for a treat. Give us a little intro.
Hi, turns out I'm the guy with the longest time in WebStorm team out of all of us here. I started a few years ago. I've been developing plugins for almost all my professional career. Started with Eclipse, and then I moved to IntelliJ and JetBrains. I'm working in many areas. Mainly, it's Angular support. To which I'm kind of back after being on Vue and other frameworks. So I'm really happy about it and how Angular is moving forward. It's pretty exciting. Yeah, I love bikes. And there are so many of them because I have 3 kids. So they also love bikes. I mean, they have to.
And we have several people on screen that know the internals of every JavaScript framework in ways that really hurt. So we will go ahead and get started with the first question that we have up. And thank you, Khalid, for agreeing to manage the conversation for us in the background. I'll flash up the first one. I wouldn't have guessed that this will be the topic of the first question, but here we are. Vlad, I'll let you either answer this or steer this to who you would like to take it. I should repeat the question. Will Deno 2 and WebStorm be ready for it?
I think that we already support Deno, so we have a Deno plugin. And recently, we made some advancements regarding to Deno support. I'm not sure I can guarantee you that everything will work, but still we put an effort to make it better in the coming release.
And just to add a little bit on that, I think the thing that is also important is that we are in very close contact with the Deno team, so they report things that get reported to them. We share observations with them, so it's a good collaboration going on in that sense.
Yeah, also, if I may, Andrej has been working on improving Deno LSP support recently, so it should be, I mean, LSP should be ready for the Deno.2, and we the same.
Okay, what we'll do is we'll take some questions and then give time for people to catch up on asking some more questions. In a few minutes, Jan will bring up some, back up the slides for the crazy cool announcement that we did at the beginning of the day, and hopefully get some more questions for that as well. So Jan, we'll say maybe 10 or 15 minutes from now on that one. Okay, next one is about TypeScript, which is the one that I kind of expected might have been the first one. And for the question on this, actually, Jan, I'll let you get started and then let you steer to who you'd like to cover it next.
So the team has been working on the particular use TypeScript server very, very hard for the last year, I guess, at this point. So first of all, I want to say we appreciate everyone who's trying it constantly and provided us feedback for that. This is really valuable because there are a lot of edge cases. So this is really valuable for us. We have done a lot of improvements, particularly in the next version coming up. So I would and I've talked to a lot of folks already, and I cannot recommend it enough to use the next EAP version or the latest EAP version, whatever you want to call it. So if you go to WebStorm, the website, go to download EAP or use Toolbox, we've seen really good improvements there, performance-wise, stability-wise, but also correctness-wise. So I don't want to jinx things, but from that aspect, it's looking pretty good. And I'm usually the first one to say it's not looking good. So on the technicality of things, I'm pretty sure Thomas has way more insights than I do.
Yeah. So like to piggyback on what you said, so we basically need to support TypeScript per each technology separately, and or language or framework, file type. So we've been working on it, as you said, as Jan said, for over a year, and this is we are like every release we are making more improvements. There were some parts of the new type evaluation engine for an entire year now for all major releases, and all of the releases work a bit differently. So like we invite you to try it for your projects and see how it goes. It won't be enabled by default yet for everything because we are like slowly rolling it out. Particularly Vue and Angular don't work properly on the projects, but as you know, like given the sheer amount of JavaScript packages in the ecosystem, some projects already have surprising results. And the thing is that we have a huge product with loyal user base, and we want to make sure that we don't break it for everyone before enabling it by default. So yeah, we really appreciate the feedback. I could also say a bit more about like what we are actually doing. So we want to use a native type checker from TypeScript. So like connecting two OS processes together and two tech stacks. It's really exciting, and we'll plug this and we'll plug this system into all our features such as refactoring, completion, etc. And maybe you can recall the presentation earlier today about TypeScript generics, such as there were a couple of examples of TypeScript features, for example, const or noinfer. And previously we had to like keep up with the changes in TypeScript and re-implement everything. But now with the new engine, we'll use directly the type checker from TypeScript. So will have the same performance characteristics and will be compatible with the wide range of TypeScript versions going forward. So yeah, also wanted to make a small shout out to our OSS community again, because the landscape of language services is quite complex, and long story short, to enable support of Vue and Angular, we are heavily relying on Polar.js, the framework, and so shout out to Johnson for do all of that.
All right, this reminds me in a weird way of the evolution of our prettier support. And over the years, we refined and changed strategies a little bit and got to a point at the end where it was just all seamless and it was what everybody wanted and it was refined. And it's pretty cool to be able to not just build something, but actually refine it. Yeah. Making no commentary about anything in particular on that. Okay, next question. How long does it take for WebStorm to like adopt something? What is the process for deciding, yeah, we care about that and we're going to do this, we're going to do this, and then we're going to do that? Vlad, we'll start with you, but let's make this kind of an open discussion because it covers all kinds of things, including marketing and advocacy and storytelling.
Yeah, first of all, I want to jump in regarding the bun support, because in the previous release, we introduced basic support. And thanks to that, we brought the bug adapter protocol support into not only WebStorm, but other JetBrains IDEs. In this release, we improve this support, expanding it for Windows. With regarding to the amount of time, I will transfer this question to Piotr or Tomasz. I think.
Yeah, so when it comes to implementing a new technology, it depends, right? Because in some cases, like, I don't know, support for Deno or things like that, it's something different than supporting a new framework, right? I can tell about how long it takes to support a new framework, and it's basically dozens of months of work to properly support a new framework. We're also like with this new thing, use types from server, right? We're also like trying to achieve something that we can focus on actually providing new stuff than just maintaining our TypeScript engine. So once we finish the project, we will be able to focus on many new technologies, I believe, because we had how many? 2-3 people just maintaining the TypeScript engine, and it's quite a lot actually with the team we have. So it's a lot of work to support framework. It's parser, lexer. Then you have to figure out what kind of quick fixes, inspections are required. You have to connect to the LSP and build on top of it. So a lot of challenges there.
And just real quick, kind of from an advocacy and marketing perspective, there's the, Jan and I are theoretically supposed to be out there listening and seeing what do people want. And Katerina and the awesome WebStorm marketing team have a really sophisticated kind of view of the market and what things are going in what direction. So it's not just that it has to be implemented. We've got to do a job of storytelling and letting people know expectations and what direction we're going, right? Do either one of you have any comments on that?
Yeah, I could probably add that marketing also monitors feedback on social media along with developer advocacy, and we try to share it with the product team whenever we can. Unfortunately, our resources are kind of limited, so we cannot always implement everything, but we do try to listen and share every feedback that is
Indeed.
brought to us.
I would like to add to that. I think it's important to distinguish, okay, do we want, and we're still very much in that conversation ourselves, do we want to support the broad ecosystem very shallowly, or do we want to support the major frameworks, but therefore very deeply? And there is no right or wrong answer to this question. It's not easy to figure out, but we have to operate with the resources we have, which we've been doing fairly successfully, I would say, for the last couple of years. So Vlad will figure it out.
Sure. And while Jan's going to get set up to show us some slides about our big announcement, while he's doing that, Vlad, you wanted to add a comment?
Yeah. I just remember that in last release we've added support for mini app development framework, and it took just like a couple of months from scratch. It's okay. It's basic support, but still, due to our internal framework for web technology support, it takes not too much time.
Sure. But when we do it, it works across all kinds of things in the rest of all the workflows. So Jan, over to you. Show us some slides.
Sweet. I mean, people that know me know that I spend way too much time on Twitter by now. So I've seen a couple of questions come up to our early announcement. So I thought we reiterate over those real quick. And if you have any follow-up questions, feel free to put them in the chat. So a couple of things that I would like to reiterate on is, yes, WebStorm is free if you use it in a non-commercial context, meaning open source, hobby projects, side projects, you feel fancy and work at night on your side project, those kind of things. If you're in a context where you charge money for the software you're working, the license that you already have is not going to be affected. We're still, at the end of the day, we're still a business that need to pay our software developers. So that is not going to change. One thing that is very important to us, though, is that this free license that you have is you're getting the exact same product that you might already familiar with or might be interested in. There's no limitations in the plugins that you can use. There's no limitations in scope. You're getting the exact same features one-to-one. It's just, this is for commercial usage, or this is not for commercial usage. If I say that 5 more times, I'm going to go crazy. So yes, these are really the important things. If you want to learn on yourself, do open source stuff, which we heard great talks about, which you should do. We got some software for you. If you want to do any kind of content creation or hobby development, you can use this free license. You can download it now via the website. I'm not sure if by now you can download it via Toolbox. We don't think so. So that is really important. The other thing is, I've seen on Twitter that we do this for various reasons, but the thing that is important to us, we develop the software ourselves, we use the software ourselves, and we want to make it more accessible to the wider audience. It was already to some extent accessible for open source projects and for students, but the processes were kind of cumbersome. So with having this new license in place, this becomes much easier, and you can just install it and you're good to go. The same way, content creation is always a little bit of like a gray area because there might be money involved, depending on the kind of content you create. So this way, we have now a very clear guidance when you can use the free version of our products and whatnot. The other thing, and we briefly talked about this earlier, the thing is, why are we just doing this for WebStorm and Rider and not the entire JetBrains product suite? The thing is, at the end of the day, this decision is up to the product to make, and WebStorm and Rider basically just raised their hand the very first time, which I personally appreciate. But there's statistics that actually back that up. So the thing is, particularly in the web and game development ecosystem, this like attitude to work outside of, or like to do stuff outside of the work hour, like do any kind of like learning, do any kind of like side projects, it's very, very common in those communities. Therefore, we just thought, okay, this is a good starting point, and it will provide us some data how this is received within the communities, and then we can consider this for other products. Does this mean we're going to definitely do it for other products? No, but it also doesn't mean the opposite. We will see. We'll take a look at it and evaluate it constantly. There is in the blog post a section of, in case you already have a license, here are the criteria you need to fulfill to be eligible for a refund. I have no intent to go over this because this is way too long and I don't want to get a call from our lawyers afterwards. So there is information for that. If you happen to recently repay your license, check that out. And Paul, have you monitored the chat if there are any other questions? Did I forget any important part? I think I covered.
You're doing a good job on it. You actually covered one at exactly the moment someone asked about GoLand. So perfect job on that. You have something up here about if you have additional questions, this is good. That QR code will probably go to Ekaterina. So, ultimately all roads lead to her for giving a bunch of answers on this. We'll go ahead and wrap up on this topic, but please ask us some questions on this while we're here. So you have another, how many minutes do you have left? You have another 19 minutes to ask us some questions about the big announcement today. We will go on to the next question. And Tomasz, this is built for you. Do you want to talk about anything that's coming next?
Built for me. WebStorm pipeline. I mentioned the new type evaluation engine, right? And but I can also say like how our typical, let's say, workflow looks like. I think it fits the question about pipeline. Although let's start with that. So we have the huge monorepo of hundreds of developers, which are not only part of the platform of our team, but also platform. And so some of the features are shared by all of our IDEs. And within the in WebStorm, we have specialization, basically. People know some features, know some technologies, and we made some decisions based on the user requests, basically. And we always try to improve how frameworks or languages behave, what features they have, what features we provide.
Sure.
And
I should have mentioned that the part for you to cover was about the TypeScript engine. So you did a good job on that.
Yeah.
And one of the things the team has done a good job over the years is on the blog telling the story of what's coming next in WebStorm. So Vlad, do you want to cover plans for 2025?
Yeah, I think as a team, we see AI as an exciting opportunity to enhance development productivity, and we already allocated resources to improving AI integration in our IDE. However, our main priority remains the same: provide excellent support for JavaScript and TypeScript, along with key web frameworks, tools, and technologies. Although I cannot provide a detailed roadmap for 2025 just yet, I can share some of our main focus areas. So the first one is to work on performance, particularly tackling ongoing performance issues. Then improving and polishing support for core technologies like React, Angular, Vue, and other amazing tooling. Then AI and remote development. And one interesting thing that we are leaning towards enhancing the means to integrate external tools like language servers to allow plugin amazing stuff created by the community. That's how I see it.
One thing that I think is worth adding at this point is that we're currently exploring an RFC kind of process for new features that we're considering adding. So it's not even an early stage at this point. So we're really figuring out how we can incorporate getting feedback before we actually start the development. So that might be a good way for you to contribute and provide us valuable information once we figured out how such a process could look like.
Yeah,
I hope for something like early next year, but we'll see.
Okay, onward. Tomasz, this will be a fast one for you. Since Svelte 5 has been out for a long time. What's the status for WebStorm and Svelte 5?
Yeah, so we implemented support for new syntax features in .2. So it's already there. Like you can use runes, you can use snippets, and all the new cool stuff that Svelte 5 provides. There's gonna be we released the new update today, so I believe we bumped the language server to the latest version, if I recall correctly, which added like a couple of fixes. Because one of the latest changes was update of the module syntax, which isn't supported in .2 because it didn't exist at that time, at the time of the release. And we are excited to get your feedback about how it works for you. If there's anything like we can improve, please open a ticket in your track and tell us what you think, basically.
All right, next up, Peter, I'm going to give you this one because it's super fun. Do you write WebStorm in Vim?
No, and it's quick. No. I have a friend. I have a
developer of WebStorm. What do you see on your screen
when I develop WebStorm?
Yeah,
I have two screens. One is here and one is here.
One is Slack.
No, it's usually one is to just look up some related code, and one is to code actually. So it's like a lot of related stuff happening on one screen, and it's just a huge monorepo, as Tomasz mentioned before. Fun fact: if you when we push change to the monorepo, there are tests running, and we have 370,000 tests running basically on each commit.
Does that make you so happy right now,
that's
Paul?
just the number of tests, right? You can imagine the number of classes. And it's one monorepo with
about number of tests and modules and speed and stuff.
Yes, but it's working. I mean, our Git support is just amazing that it can cope with so many commits in it. So yeah. But no Vim here.
Sure. Okay, next question is one kind of for all of us. Well, let's see how we all feel about this. How can people influence the way JetBrains prioritizes issues to fix? I think the best way is to find an advocate and buy them dinner. Usually works best, but not easy to repeat. So for all of us, especially all of us that have been here for a while at JetBrains and WebStorm, anyone want to comment first? Vlad, we'll go with you about what are kind of the input signals that you use in making decisions. And then if any of the rest of you want to comment.
Yeah, of course, we use a lot of signals like stats, external stats and internal stats. Also, we track the amount of votes for issue, and we look to comments. Also we have input from our amazing developer advocates, and we take into consideration our developers' feelings, I'd say, like that. So folks who are responsible for subsystem, they may kind of feel that we need to improve something.
Anybody else want to comment on this?
Yeah, so we basically take a peek at Twitter, I mean X, and see what people talk about, and this is one of the biggest signal for me personally. And then I intermix it with everything that Vlad mentioned to get a better picture.
I will say Tomasz is super active on engaging people on Twitter. It's really cool to see. Okay, the question with the what's that?
I just wanted to add one more important detail because everyone else forgot about it for some reason. We are also doing research every so often. And yeah, I
I wanted to
you
mention
mentioned that. Yeah, because we are getting more serious with this one.
The research you've done in the past, like with Ellie, those are just great. Not just the systematic way that you get truth instead of opinion. You want opinions, go to an advocate. You want truth, you got to do some research, but also the analysis that you do afterwards to make it actionable.
Yeah, we have excellent researchers. We also do some beta testing programs to like validate if what we did is working good for the people.
Yeah,
lots of good stuff.
Yeah, good point. Peter, I think, gets the fastest answer to a question. This will be the second fastest. Any
it's
chance
being
that we
ported
port
right now.
WebStorm to, I don't know, Python? Do you want to port it to Python?
No, I mean we're actually moving it to a much more performant language, which is Kotlin. And it's true, actually. There is a story from the platform team because and people might have noticed that for 2024.1 and 0.2 that there were freezes in the IDE, right? There was something like that. We have moved a lot of platform to coroutines, to Kotlin coroutines, and this has saved us, like, I don't know, just moving the the IDE initialization code to coroutines saved us, like, cut this initialization time by half or something like that, because the Kotlin scheduler is really nice at putting job and connecting dots and scheduling everything as it should be. So so we're moving it to Kotlin. We're moving a lot of stuff to coroutines just to make it faster because of all the concurrency issues, and manual scheduling is really tedious when you can get Kotlin scheduler who does a lot of nice work.
So for everyone who wonders, Kotlin is just like Rust, but faster. Kidding.
Yeah, I'm
That's
kidding
a
a little
joke.
bit, but Kotlin is, I think, more performative than Java when it comes to parallel execution or some code things. Like if you have a for each loop in Java and you do the lambda, then it's not really the same thing as for each in Kotlin, which is actually transpiled to a very plain loop. So there's a lot of stuff. I'm really big fan of Kotlin. Just you can stop me.
I'll take the next one. It's a question about Fleet and its JavaScript support. Fleet is a project we've had for a number of years to kind of reimagine editors and IDEs in a polyglot and remote fashion. And we do have some support for JavaScript and TypeScript in there. It doesn't necessarily keep up with what WebStorm does, and that's okay. The two have a good relationship with each other. Fleet has informed like new UI and informed thinking about remote development. So at the moment, we don't expect Fleet to be just as featureful as WebStorm. Hey, next up.
Sorry to jump in there.
Yeah.
Super quickly, because in particular mentioned Angular, and as you might know, I have a personal interest in good Angular support in Fleet.
No.
So I did talk to the Fleet team about that, and it's a very highly upvoted ticket. So they're very much aware of that, and I think we have a good plan. It does need to be incorporated in the roadmap. So it is coming down the line. How long that line is, I don't know.
Okay. Tomasz, you can run, but you can't hide. I think this one's for you. Question about Vue and functional components.
Yeah, functional components. Interesting question. Like Vue is Vue's tagline is progressive framework, and it has a number of different ways of how to offer components, and some of them are less popular than others. And supporting everything is into like they're like Vue is actually like a number of different frameworks which you can mix and match. And I'm not actually sure. I don't remember. I didn't read the ticket now. what is the status of that, but what particularly doesn't work. Yeah, we are focusing on SFC support, which is like the main way to offer Vue applications. Now there is this effort to make a Vue compiler, which is called Vapor, and when this will be released, we'll definitely support it. And we try to support various different Vue component offering formats, such as like class decorators. I don't recall the proper name of the library now. But given just the sheer amount of custom versions, how we can write the custom Vue components, we just honestly we don't support everything.
I invite everyone in the audience to come and spend time sitting beside Tomasz, and he can explain to you the intricacies that it takes for doing every one of these questions, such as ESLint 8, ESLint 9. What are the plans to have equal kind of support? Vlad, I'll let you steer this to you or to the right person not named Paul.
Yeah, I guess we are fully support ESLint 9. And we even introduced an option to find, like, you know, that in ESLint 9, if I'm not mistaken, they deprecate the previous config files. And we made some work to support projects which migrated to ESLint 9, but their config is still in the previous format. We passed the correct option.
All right, cool. Here we go. For the record, we got 10 questions in before the first AI question. Didn't expect that. This is both a general and a specific question, a question about better autocomplete with consecutive change proposals. I don't have an answer for that specifically. I can say that autocomplete, you'll see some videos from somebody with a wood ski chalet background coming out on this topic pretty soon. But in general, Katerina and I can talk in general, and then maybe Piotr can talk specifically about anything that he might know about. Katerina, JetBrains has kind of a broad strategy for AI that's bigger than just WebStorm, right?
Yeah, that's right. And right now, as far as I know, we are prioritizing the most critical problems with AI assistant, like code completion was top priority for sure. And probably Vlad can say a few words about that as well.
Yeah, I think that our amazing AI team made a huge leap with regarding to quality of suggestions. So one interesting moment is that our approach is hybrid. So we use local LLMs with like and cloud LLMs. So also in this release, in 24.3 release, the mechanics of working with completion will be improved. So you will be able to partially accept suggestions by word by word, or line by line. Maybe it will answer the original question.
Real quick, Piotr, give us a couple more points if you got it on AI and autocomplete.
Yeah, so Vlad mentioned that we do local LLM, and this is actually our in-house LLM, which has been trained especially for code completion. So it makes it robust, and I saw the charts. We have a nice blog about this, by the way.
It was yesterday, right?
Sorry?
The blog post was yesterday, right?
Yeah, and one like 2
and
weeks
it
ago.
Referenced one from last week, I think.
Yeah. So basically, the local LLM is really good. I've been using it for Kotlin development, and the same LLM is being used for JavaScript since 2024.2.2, I think.
All right. Sorry, I'll need to close you off. We're running low. Khalid, made a link to the blog post so people can follow up with the information about that. Let's do a speed round real quick. Quality of third-party plugins after WebStorm updates. Anybody have any advice for folks?
So we have a process where we monitor whether we are not breaking APIs, and that happens quite often. So we get a warning, and we have to fix the code to not break the API. And also, when you put a plugin on the marketplace is sending you back to the developer of the third-party plugin, is sending back information about deprecated APIs and all these things. I heard about plans about something like including the external plugins in the quality process, but it's super complicated. So there is nothing like that right now. So it's up to the third-party developer to do the check for a particular release. From our side, we're trying to keep the API stable and inform the developers about any changes in the APIs.
That's the important part about the API. Real quick, data collection is mandatory. Anyone want to take this?
Yes.
I don't have a good idea for who to steer this to.
I can take this real quick, and then Vlad, you interrupt me if I say something stupid, right? So yes, we do collect data. We in our AI terms and service, we specifically say that we don't collect code for training models and stuff. So that's an important piece that I think is relevant at this point. But we do want to use this to collect information of how we can improve our product, because that's still an important part. We're lacking information to some extent.
Yeah, and but one important addition is that it's required only for non-commercial use, and for commercial use you can opt out, of course. But I wanted to add that we use this data to improve our product. So, for instance, we use it to see where we have performance issues. So we are really grateful for sharing this data.
All right, real quick, we got 1 minute left. Actually, we have negative 2 minutes left, but in my world, it's 1 minute. Collaborative and live and pair programming. We have something called Code With Me that has been shipping for a while and refined for a while. Jan and I use it on the projects that we co-develop with. Vlad, do you have anything that you want to add about anything that people should be aware of?
Not really. Just as what you said, we have Code With Me. And as for non-commercial license, community version of Code With Me will be available.
All right.
Yeah.
Okay. Next to last, Jan.
Peter, I think that's better.
15-second answer. What do you got?
Yeah. So so we have right now pretty well working highlighting with new TypeScript engine for Angular. So we have the type checking blocks, etc. So I think 2025.1 is the we're aiming to fully switch Angular to the new TypeScript engine.
All right, we will wrap up with that with a bold promise that people can take to the bank, write it in stone. It will happen. Thank you.
I really hope so. I really hope so.
Everyone in our wonderful community for all the great questions.